Embracing vulnerability is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness, but in reality, it is one of the most profound expressions of strength we can demonstrate. Vulnerability asks us to step into spaces of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure with courage. It demands that we shed the armor we wear to protect ourselves and instead face life with our hearts fully open. This is no easy feat. The world often tells us to hide our fears, doubts, and imperfections. But by doing so, we deny ourselves the opportunity for true connection, growth, and self-awareness. To embrace vulnerability means to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers and that we are not immune to pain or failure. It is the courage to say, I need help or I made a mistake without fear of judgment. It is the choice to show up fully as we are, even when it might be easier to remain guarded. This act of openness does not make us fragile. Instead, it builds resilience. Every time we allow ourselves to be seen, flaws and all, we become stronger. We learn that even when we stumble, we can get back up. Our wounds become part of our story, not something to be hidden away. Being vulnerable allows for genuine connection with others. It gives permission for those around us to do the same, creating spaces of trust and mutual respect. In a society that often values perfection, those who are willing to show their scars become beacons of authenticity. Vulnerability challenges the notion that strength is about being invincible. It teaches us that strength is the willingness to stand exposed, to risk the possibility of being hurt for the sake of living a fuller, more authentic life. To truly live with inner strength, we must be willing to be vulnerable. We must be willing to ask the hard questions, face our deepest insecurities, and share our truths. This is the essence of the wolf mentality. It is not about being fearless, but about facing our fears with grace and courage. By doing so, we discover a strength that is unbreakable, rooted in our ability to be unapologetically human. The pack represents the collective power of connection, unity, and mutual support. Within the pack, every wolf has a role. Each member contributes to the success and survival of the group. They hunt together, protect each other, and share in triumphs and defeats. In our lives, the pack symbolizes the people we trust, our families, friends, and communities. These are the people who stand by us during difficult times and celebrate with us during moments of victory. They remind us that we are never alone. When we struggle, they are there to carry us through. When we grow, they push us to be better. Being part of a pack requires us to be vulnerable enough to accept help, to share our burdens, and to collaborate with others for a greater good. Yet inner strength also demands that we know how to walk as the lone wolf. There are moments in life when we must face challenges on our own, relying solely on our instincts, resilience, and courage. This path is not chosen out of isolation or defiance, but out of necessity for growth. Being the lone wolf allows us to test our own limits, to learn more deeply about who we are, and to build a relationship with ourselves. In these moments, we learn to trust our intuition, to stand strong in our convictions, even when we are the only one walking that path. It requires courage to venture out alone, knowing that we might encounter obstacles, failures, and pain without anyone else to catch us. But it is in these solitary trials that we often find our greatest sources of strength. Choosing to be part of a pack doesn't mean losing our individuality. In fact, it allows us to bring our best selves to the collective. When we have faced trials as a lone wolf, we return to the pack with more wisdom, resilience, and compassion. The experiences we gain in solitude make us better friends, leaders, partners, and mentors. Conversely, the strength we derive from the pack sustains us during our solitary journeys. It serves as a reminder that we are always connected, even when we must walk alone. Embracing both roles is what gives the wolf its power. It understands that there is strength in unity and resilience in solitude. By knowing when to lean on others and when to stand on our own, we cultivate a balanced, adaptable, and deeply rooted sense of inner strength. This is the essence of the wolf mentality, the capacity to move seamlessly between connection and independence, and to harness the power found in both. Adaptability is the cornerstone of survival, both in the wild and in our everyday lives. The wolf's ability to adjust to changing circumstances, environments, and challenges speaks to its remarkable resilience. This adaptability is not a matter of simply reacting, it is about anticipating, evolving, and overcoming. The same holds true for us. Our strength is rooted not in the ability to avoid change, but in our willingness to embrace it and transform alongside it. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable. Just when we think we have a grasp on it, the terrain shifts beneath our feet. Unexpected losses, changing relationships, career challenges, or health issues can alter our reality in an instant. How we choose to respond defines our capacity for survival. Adaptability calls on us to let go of rigid expectations and embrace flexibility. It asks us to release our attachment to how things should be, and instead meet life as it is. This does not mean we surrender our goals or dreams, rather. We learn to navigate toward them through new and often difficult routes. However, adaptability also demands humility. It asks us to acknowledge that we don't know everything, that we may need to learn, unlearn, or relearn skills in order to survive and thrive. The ability to admit when something isn't working and to pivot is a mark of true strength. It can be difficult to let go of old habits, familiar ways of thinking, or deeply rooted plans, but doing so opens up space for growth. This humility, paired with resilience, allows us to transform setbacks into opportunities and failures into lessons. Survival does not mean merely getting by, it means thriving despite adversity. Adaptability allows us to transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. It is about taking what life gives us, both the good and the bad, and using it to forge a stronger, wiser version of ourselves. The wolf mentality teaches us that to survive is to be willing to change. It calls on us to meet challenges head-on, not with fear or resistance, but with flexibility, creativity, and a fierce commitment to keep moving forward, no matter what lies ahead. Instinct and intuition are powerful, often underestimated forces that guide us through the complexities of life. They are rooted in the depths of our experiences, perceptions, and even our subconscious. In the wild, the wolf's instincts are what keep it alive. Every decision, every reaction is honed by generations of survival. For us, tapping into our instincts and intuition means learning to trust the quiet signals within that often know the truth before our conscious minds do. It is a skill we can cultivate to navigate uncertainty, make wise decisions, and strengthen our inner resilience. Instinct is the primal, almost visceral reaction we feel in response to a situation. It is the sense of danger when something feels off the drive to protect those we care about, or the sudden surge of courage when faced with a challenge. It lives in our bodies, often bypassing rational thought to propel us into action. Intuition, on the other hand, is more subtle. It whispers rather than shouts. It is the inner knowing that surfaces without a clear line of reasoning, nudging us toward what is right or warning us of what is wrong. Together, instinct and intuition form a powerful duo, guiding us through life's complexities with a kind of wisdom that goes beyond logic. To cultivate these senses, we must first learn to listen. Our world is filled with noise distractions, external expectations, and the pressure to conform to others' opinions. In this chaos, it is easy to lose touch with our own inner voice. Reconnecting with instinct and intuition requires moments of stillness, reflection, and self-awareness. It asks us to quiet our minds and tune into what our bodies and hearts are telling us. When we are in touch with ourselves, we can more easily sense when something feels right or wrong, even if we cannot immediately explain why. Instinct and intuition are not infallible. They can be clouded by past experiences, fears, or biases. But with practice, we can learn to distinguish between true intuitive insight and the noise of anxiety or doubt. This discernment grows when we trust ourselves to act on our instincts and learn from the outcomes, whether they are successes or mistakes. Every time we follow our intuition, reflect on where it leads, we sharpen our ability to rely on it in the future. Even when we stumble, we gain valuable insights that strengthen our instincts for the next challenge. In times of uncertainty, our instincts and intuition often become our best guides. Rational analysis and planning are important, but there are moments when they fall short. When faced with a decision that has no clear right or wrong answer, our intuition can point us toward what aligns with our values and goals. Instinct kicks in during moments of crisis, giving us the ability to act quickly and decisively. This inner compass is not a magical solution, but a deeply human capability, one that has been shaped by our unique experiences, perceptions, and insights. Instinct and intuition also foster empathy and connection. When we learn to trust our inner signals, we become more attuned to the emotions and needs of others. We can sense when someone is in pain, when a conversation needs to be had, or when a boundary has been crossed. This awareness helps us build deeper, more authentic relationships. It allows us to navigate social dynamics with compassion and courage, knowing when to speak up, when to listen, and when to walk away. To embody the wolf mentality is to honor both instinct and intuition. It means trusting our gut when faced with the unknown and following our inner compass, even when the path is difficult. It calls on us to be present, to tune into the signals our bodies and hearts give us, and to act with courage and authenticity. By doing so, we strengthen our ability to survive and thrive in the wild terrain of life. We learn that true strength lies not in suppressing our instincts, but in understanding, trusting, and acting on them with wisdom and courage. Commitment to the hunt embodies a relentless drive to pursue what truly matters, to push beyond comfort, and to stay focused despite the obstacles we encounter. For the wolf, hunting is not merely about survival, it is a test of endurance, strategy, and purpose. Each hunt demands focus, teamwork, and persistence, often with no guarantee of success. In our lives, the hunt represents our pursuit of goals, dreams, and personal growth. It asks for dedication that does not waver in the face of setbacks or fatigue, but instead grows stronger with each challenge. Resilience is another crucial aspect of commitment. Failure is inevitable on any meaningful journey. There will be hunts that do not succeed, days when exhaustion and doubt threaten to overwhelm us. Commitment means getting back up after every fall, learning from each setback, and continuing to fight for what we believe in. Resilience is built through adversity, and each time we persevere, we strengthen our capacity to overcome future challenges. This kind of resilience is not about denying the pain or difficulty, but about using it as fuel to keep going. Commitment to the hunt also involves a willingness to make sacrifices. Pursuing our goals often requires us to step out of our comfort zones, to let go of short-term pleasures, and to prioritize what truly matters. It asks us to be intentional with our time and energy, to cut away distractions, and to focus on what will bring us closer to our purpose. Sacrifice can be difficult, but it is a necessary part of the journey. The wolf knows that every successful hunt demands effort, patience, and the courage to persevere, even when the odds seem stacked against it. Ultimately, commitment to the hunt is about unwavering dedication to what we value most. It is a promise we make to ourselves to keep moving forward, even in the face of fear, failure, or uncertainty. It is about giving everything we have to pursue what truly matters and refusing to give up until we reach the goal or until we redefine what success means. This commitment transforms the journey itself into a source of strength and growth. Whether we succeed or stumble, the pursuit shapes us, making us more resilient, determined, and capable of facing whatever challenges lie ahead. Handling failure and regret is a challenge that everyone must face at some point in life. These experiences, though painful, are essential for growth and resilience. Failure can leave us feeling inadequate, ashamed, or disappointed, while regret often weighs us down with thoughts of missed opportunities and what might have been. But beneath the surface of these feelings lies a powerful opportunity, the chance to grow stronger, to learn, and to transform pain into wisdom and resilience. Learning from failure involves taking a hard look at what happened and why. This can be painful, but it is necessary if we are to grow. We must be willing to ask ourselves difficult questions. What could I have done differently? What lessons can I take from this experience? Reflection turns failure into a powerful teacher, revealing gaps in our skills, patterns of behavior that hold us back, or blind spots we didn't know we had. When we approach failure with curiosity rather than judgment, it becomes a source of strength. Each setback becomes an opportunity to refine our approach, to become more resilient, and to build the courage to try again. Regret, on the other hand, often arises when we reflect on past choices that we cannot change. It can feel like a heavy burden, weighing us down with what ifs and if onlys, but regret, like failure, is also a teacher. It highlights the moments when we strayed from our values, ignored our intuition, or let fear hold us back. While we cannot change the past, we can choose how we respond to it. Regret can be a motivator for positive change. It can push us to make different choices in the future, to take risks we once avoided, or to mend relationships we neglected. Failure and regret also teach us humility. They remind us that we are fallible, that we don't have all the answers, and that we are always learning. This humility is a gift. It keeps us grounded, open to feedback, and willing to grow. It helps us connect with others who are also struggling, creating bonds of empathy and shared humanity. When we share our failures and regrets openly, we invite others to do the same, fostering a culture of authenticity and support. Ultimately, handling failure and regret is about transforming pain into power. It is about using every setback as a lesson and every regret as a reminder to live more fully. We cannot change the past, but we can shape the present and future with the strength gained from our experiences. This is the essence of inner resilience, the ability to confront our flaws, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward with courage and grace. By embracing failure and regret as part of our journey, we become unstoppable, capable of facing whatever life throws our way with unwavering determination and hope. Communication goes beyond merely speaking or listening. It requires presence, empathy, and authenticity. To communicate effectively, we must be willing to be honest about our feelings, needs, and intentions. This honesty can feel vulnerable, but it creates the space for genuine connection. By expressing ourselves clearly and authentically, we invite others to do the same. Effective communication also means being a compassionate listener. This involves giving others our full attention, seeking to understand their words and emotions, and showing empathy even when we may not fully agree. When we listen deeply, we convey respect, care, and a willingness to engage in meaningful dialogue. However, communication is not without challenges. Misunderstandings, assumptions, and emotional triggers can create barriers that hinder connection. To overcome these obstacles, we must practice patience, clarify our intentions, and be willing to ask questions when something is unclear. It also means recognizing that communication is a two-way street requiring both speaking and listening, expressing and receiving. When conflicts arise, a commitment to open, non-defensive communication can transform disagreements into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Boundaries are an equally vital component of healthy interactions. They define where our needs and comfort zones begin and end, ensuring that our values and limits are respected by ourselves and others. Setting boundaries can feel difficult, especially when we fear rejection or conflict, but it is necessary for maintaining our emotional health and self-respect. Clear boundaries tell others what we will and will not accept, making it easier to navigate relationships with integrity and respect. Establishing boundaries starts with self-awareness. We must know what we value, what we need, and what we are unwilling to compromise on. Once we are clear about these limits, we can communicate them assertively, yet respectfully. It might mean saying no to commitments that drain us, setting limits on how we are treated, or creating time for self-care without guilt. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about protecting our well-being so we can show up authentically in our interactions. Communicating boundaries effectively requires courage and consistency. It involves being direct without being harsh and firm without being inflexible. When we communicate a boundary, we must be prepared to stand by it, even when faced with pushback. This consistency reinforces our commitment to our own well-being and teaches others how we expect to be treated. Boundaries may sometimes require negotiation, but they should never involve compromising our core values or self-respect. The interplay between communication and boundaries is critical. When we communicate our boundaries clearly, we empower ourselves and others to build healthier, more authentic relationships. This synergy allows us to maintain our sense of self while fostering meaningful connections. It is about striking a balance between openness and protection, inviting others into our lives while ensuring our values, needs, and limits are respected. Practicing effective communication and setting boundaries is a lifelong process. It requires continuous reflection, self-compassion, and courage. We may make mistakes, overstep, or fail to express ourselves clearly, but each experience offers a chance to learn and grow. As we become more skilled at communicating and upholding our boundaries, we cultivate healthier relationships, greater self-respect, and a stronger sense of inner strength. This empowers us to navigate life's complexities with authenticity, resilience, and a deep respect for ourselves and others. Balancing aggression and restraint is a delicate dance that requires both self-awareness and control. Aggression, when channeled properly, can be a powerful force, driving us to pursue our goals, defend our boundaries, and assert our needs. It carries with it the energy and determination necessary to push through challenges and overcome obstacles. However, when unchecked, aggression can become destructive, alienating those around us and eroding our relationships. On the other hand, restraint, knowing when to hold back, when to choose peace over conflict, when to exercise patience, is a form of strength that allows us to navigate life with wisdom and grace. The challenge lies in understanding when to use aggression as a tool and when to practice restraint for the greater good. To balance aggression and restraint, we must first understand the nature of both. Aggression is often seen as a raw, primal energy and instinct to fight, to survive, or to protect what matters most. This energy, however, is not inherently negative. It is what drives us to stand up for ourselves, to speak out against injustice, and to push through adversity. In its healthiest form, aggression is a focused, controlled power that propels us forward in the pursuit of our goals. It is a clear expression of our will to live, to assert our rights, and to stand our ground. Yet without restraint, aggression can quickly spiral into impulsivity, anger, and violence. It can be driven by unchecked emotions like fear, frustration, or insecurity, leading to hasty decisions and regrettable actions. This is where restraint becomes critical. Restraint does not mean suppression of our emotions or desires, but the ability to pause, reflect, and choose our response deliberately. It means giving ourselves the space to act with intention, rather than being swept away by the heat of the moment. Restraint is the practice of holding back until we are certain that our actions align with our values and goals, and that the impact of our aggression will be constructive rather than destructive. The key to balancing aggression and restraint is knowing when to stand firm and when to let go. There are moments when aggression is necessary. When we face injustice, when our rights are violated, or when we are fighting for something meaningful, aggression can provide the force needed to break through barriers. In these instances, restraint would be a disservice to our cause, as it could result in passivity or allowing harm to continue unchecked. In these moments, aggression must be wielded with clarity, direction, and a sense of purpose. However, there are also times when restraint is the more powerful choice. When we are caught in a conflict, when emotions are running high, or when our response may cause harm to others, restraint allows us to preserve relationships, maintain our dignity, and choose peace over escalation. Restraint helps us avoid reacting impulsively in ways that we might later regret. It allows us to respond thoughtfully, choosing words and actions that reflect our highest self, rather than being led by reactive emotions. Often, the most powerful action is not in fighting, but in choosing to hold back and wait for the right moment to respond. This balance requires continuous self-reflection. It demands that we remain aware of our emotional state and the motivations behind our actions. Are we acting out of genuine need and purpose, or are we reacting out of fear, frustration, or insecurity? Are we trying to control a situation that is beyond our control, or are we responding thoughtfully to what is in our power? This kind of self-awareness helps us navigate between aggression and restraint with wisdom, using each at the right time and in the right way. Furthermore, this balance is not just about our interactions with others, it's also about how we treat ourselves. There are times when we need to be aggressive in pursuing our own goals and asserting our worth. At other times, we need to practice restraint in how harshly we judge ourselves, how demanding we are of our own perfection, and how quick we are to push ourselves past our limits. Balancing aggression and restraint is about finding that middle ground where we can fiercely pursue our passions while also knowing when to pause, reflect, and care for our own well-being. Self-belief and confidence are two of the most transformative forces we can cultivate within ourselves. They are the foundation upon which we build our lives, relationships, and achievements. Self-belief is the inner conviction that we are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, while confidence is the outward manifestation of that belief, the trust we have in our abilities to navigate challenges and achieve our goals. Together, these qualities empower us to take risks, face fears, and step into our power with courage and resilience. At the core of self-belief is the understanding that we are enough as we are. It is the recognition that our worth does not depend on external validation or the approval of others. Too often, we tie our sense of self-worth to achievements, appearances, or the opinions of those around us. But true self-belief comes from within. It arises when we accept ourselves fully with all our strengths, flaws, and imperfections. This acceptance is not complacency, but a deep recognition that we are worthy of love, respect, and success, no matter where we stand in life. Self-belief is also grounded in the understanding that we are capable of growth and change. It acknowledges that our past mistakes do not define us, and that every day is a new opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. It requires us to let go of the limiting beliefs and narratives we have carried about ourselves for years. Often these beliefs are formed by past experiences, failures, or criticisms that have been internalized. But self-belief challenges these old stories, replacing them with a narrative of possibility and resilience. It encourages us to see ourselves not as victims of our circumstances, but as powerful agents of change, capable of creating the lives we desire. However, building confidence is not always easy. It requires us to confront our fears and doubts head-on. For many, the biggest barrier to confidence is fear of failure, rejection, or judgment. But true confidence is not about being free from fear. It is about moving forward in spite of it. It is about understanding that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but a necessary part of the learning process. With each failure, we gain valuable experience and insight, which ultimately strengthens our confidence. Confidence is built through action, and it deepens when we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. A critical aspect of self-belief and confidence is the ability to be kind and compassionate with ourselves. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, focusing on our shortcomings rather than celebrating our progress. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same care and understanding that we would offer to a friend facing a challenge. It is the recognition that we are all imperfect, and that imperfection is not a weakness, but a part of being human. By practicing self-compassion, we allow ourselves the space to grow, make mistakes, and learn without the burden of harsh judgment. This creates a more supportive and nurturing environment within ourselves, one that encourages growth and the cultivation of confidence. As we build self-belief and confidence, it is essential to remember that they are not static qualities, they are dynamic and evolving. They are cultivated over time through consistent effort, self-reflection, and action. We do not wake up one day with perfect self-belief and unshakable confidence, rather. These qualities are honed through the small decisions we make each day. It is in the moments of doubt that we choose to believe in ourselves anyway. It is in the moments of fear that we choose to act despite it. It is in the face of challenges that we choose to keep going, knowing that each step forward reinforces our belief in our own strength. Ultimately, self-belief and confidence are not just about achieving success or avoiding failure. They are about living fully, embracing all that we are, and trusting in our ability to navigate whatever comes our way. They allow us to step into our power, take ownership of our lives, and pursue our dreams with passion and perseverance. When we believe in ourselves, we unlock the limitless potential within us, and confidence becomes a natural extension of that belief. It is through self-belief and confidence that we become the architects of our own lives, creating the future we desire and stepping boldly into the person we are meant to be. The legacy of strength is a profound concept, not just defined by physical endurance or resilience in the face of adversity, but by the deep, lasting impact we leave on the world through the way we live, love, and lead. Strength is often seen as an individual trait, but its truest power emerges when it is shared, passed down, and woven into the fabric of our communities, families, and relationships. A legacy of strength is not just about surviving the challenges life presents, it's about thriving in ways that inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of resilience, courage, and fortitude that endures long after we're gone. At its core, the legacy of strength is rooted in the ability to persist through hardship, to rise each time we fall, and to keep moving forward despite the obstacles we face. It's the stories of those who, when confronted with life's toughest trials, chose not to crumble under the weight of adversity, but to meet it with grace, determination, and grit. These stories, whether personal or collective, serve as reminders that strength is not just about physical power or dominance, but about the inner resilience to hold firm to our values, our sense of self, and our purpose in the midst of life's storms. They remind us that strength is often forged in the most difficult moments, shaped by the very challenges that threaten to break us. The strength that shapes a legacy is not always loud or overt. Sometimes the most powerful form of strength is the quiet, consistent persistence that doesn't seek attention or praise, but continues to work steadily toward a goal, day after day, year after day, year after year. It's the strength of the person who keeps showing up, even when no one is watching, and who continues to move forward with integrity, even in the face of adversity. This kind of strength has an enduring quality. It doesn't fade with time, but remains steadfast, even in the face of challenges that might seem insurmountable. The legacy of this kind of strength is lasting because it creates a foundation of trust, reliability, and unwavering commitment that others can build upon. When we think of legacy, we often think of material wealth or tangible achievements. But the true legacy of strength lies in the intangible, those qualities that endure in the hearts and minds of others long after we are gone. It's in the way we inspire those who come after us to rise, to overcome, and to live authentically and courageously. It's in the values we instill, the support we offer, and the love we share. The legacy of strength is about leaving behind a world that is better for having had us in it, a world where resilience, compassion, and courage are passed down like a torch, lighting the way for others to follow. Ultimately, the legacy of strength is one that transcends time. It is the lasting impact of a life well lived, one in which strength was not only used to face life's challenges, but also to make the world a better place for those who follow. It is a reminder that the greatest measure of strength is not how we stand alone, but how we empower others to stand with us. Through our actions, our choices, and our love, we create a legacy that will inspire future generations to embody that same strength, resilience, and grace, ensuring that our impact continues long after we are gone. This legacy is a gift passed on from one generation